Welcome to the world famous island hopper. Today we are flying the world famous United Island Hopper that connects the world's most remote islands for the past 50 years. Our journey starts in Guam, a US territory in the West Pacific. From there we fly to Chuuk and Pohnpei in Micronesia, facing extremely short runways, putting the plane's brakes to a real test. Afterwards we continue to Kwajalein, a US top-secret military base where filming is strictly prohibited, before ending our journey in Majuro, the capital of the Marshall Islands. I can't wait to share the history of this flight with you and why it's so much different than any other international flights with you in this video. So please join me on this unique island hopping adventure. In the Marshall Islands, new to the channel, my name is Josh Cahill, a multi-award winning aviation YouTuber with over 500 million views, and I love to hold airlines accountable for the promises they make. My favorite hobby? Featuring unique airlines from all over the world. I organized Afghanistan's first all-female flight, and I'm also proudly banned from Qatar Airways. The Island Hopper started in 1968 as Air Micronesia, 1 year before the actual moon landing. But more about the history later once we're on board. The flight operates 3 times a week and starts in Guam and ends 16 hours later in Hawaii with a couple of stops along the way. But first, let's check in. Yeah, it's all good.
Majuro?
Yeah.
Okay.
All good?
Yep.
Thank you. So, all checked in for the Island Hopper. You get 4 different boarding passes for each leg. And yeah, it's also my very first flight on United. And I'm actually excited. When do you ever hear someone say, I am excited to fly United Airlines? I am. So for the past 8 years, I wasn't allowed to enter the US due to my travel history, going to countries that they don't like very much. And it also means in the past 8 years, I haven't had the chance to fly in any US carriers. And I spent most of those 8 years flying some of the best airlines in the world, mainly in Asia, where you get spoiled, where it's all about hospitality, where you have great, young, good-looking cabin crew that want to make sure that you have a great time on their airlines. And also for the past 8 years, I was a victim of anti-US airlines propaganda, where people even say it's a criminal offense to ask for free water on any US airlines. That's how bad it is, apparently. They also say the cabin crew is so old, they need to be on life support during the flight, etc., etc. And I do not know how to think of today's flight, having heard that US airlines have such a bad reputation. So I stocked up on water, on food, and that's pretty much it. That's how I got prepared for today's journey. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong, and people were just making fun of United, and they're probably a great airline. I'm sure we will find out today. And this is our plane today, a special customized 737-800, which brings its own spare parts, extra life rafts, and a mechanic, as these flights stress the aircraft a lot due to the short runways and intense weather conditions. It's also staffed with 4 pilots instead of just 2, due to the long operational hours of this flight. So let's get on board. All right, let's do that. Let's board the Island Hopper. Hi. Thank you. And here we are, welcome on board the Island Hopper, featuring 16 seats in first class and 150 in economy. And good news, it will soon be upgraded to a 737 MAX for increased comfort. And this is my home for the next 8 hours, 12F economy class, with a beautiful wing and engine view. And this trip is all about the views.
can't wait.
The last bags were loaded and I ended up with an empty middle seat, perfect for a long day of flying.
We're supposed to be airborne already, but apparently there is a problem with the bathroom in the back of the plane. I mean, for a long island hopping journey all the way to Hawaii, it's better to have 2 functioning lavatories instead of 1. So I hope they're gonna get it fixed, and then we are on our way soon. I hope.
They luckily managed to fix the loo and we finally pushed back for a journey that every aviation lover should have on their list.
Believe it or not, but there is breakfast on this flight. I mean, breakfast would be too big of a call, but a fruit salad and a muffin. Breaking stereotypes on this flight. Hey, who says you don't get food on a US carrier?
The crew on this flight was also very friendly and I was in good hands. We then started our descent into Chuuk, Micronesia, the only country in the world without a visa regulation, which means every nationality can enter the country on arrival. Chuuk's airport was originally built by the Japanese Army in 1942 and is primarily used by United Airlines, as the Island Hopper is currently the only airline flying here.
Hard landing, full brakes. Welcome to Chuuk, Micronesia. Wow.
Chuuk is also the site where an Air Niugini flight landed 100 meters short of the actual runway. It ditched into the ocean and luckily everyone survived the crash. However, the plane is still located at the bottom of the ocean and it's very popular among scuba divers. Also, fire engines are standing by on each destination of this trip in case the brakes of the plane overheat due to the short runways in the Pacific.
This is it. This is our first stop here in Chuuk, Micronesia. Lovely, lovely.
You have flight tomorrow.
For the transit?
That's right.
This side? So I have to walk back?
Okay.
All right, okay, cool. I ran for the wrong exit. So this is immigration and transit is over there. And over here, there's the fire engine.
As most airports along the way, it's more like a room with overpriced snack bars. However, at each destination, the locals were super kind and lovely. Something I loved the most about this trip.
Alright, have a good trip.
No hug for me? Sorry. Such lovely people here, huh? So, boarding flight number 2. Now we continue from Chuuk to the capital of Micronesia. Let's do this. Hey, thank you. Now flight number 2 from Chuuk to Pohnpei, the capital of Micronesia.
The American attacks on the Japanese fleet in 1944 were such that today Chuuk's lagoon is the largest underwater military cemetery in the world, with 60 ships and 400 aircrafts scattered all over the ocean floor, which attracts divers from all over the world. But this flight also holds an emotional moment for me, since this was my first ever US carrier loo review in 8 years of doing YouTube. Niall Phillips, the undisputed king of loo reviews, would be super proud of me, I guess. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Our next stop on this flight was Pohnpei, the capital of Micronesia. 35 people live here, and the airport was only built in the 1970s. Unlike other islands in the region, it didn't see too much action in World War II and was handed over to the US by the occupying Japanese forces.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pohnpei, where the local time is 1:19. Please be careful when you open the doorbell compartments. Once we arrive at the gate, our airport team will be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you may have.
That was an absolute stunning approach, and here we are. Welcome to Pohnpei, the lovely capital of Micronesia. So 90% of the plane disembarks. Pohnpei is their final destination, and because we have a little bit of a delay, everyone who continues to Majuro was asked to stay on board.
And then the rain kicked in, which is very common in the region. And it's also nice to see that the CIA is offering Wi-Fi connections at Pohnpei International Airport too.
And off we go again for our third takeoff of the day. Next stop, secret American military base. Not so secret, but you can't film there.
The cabin crew would make an announcement that our next stop is Buchholz Army Airfield, a US military base. It's still used for missile testing and various other operations, hence no filming was allowed while being on the ground. Well, to be honest, I would love to share the crazy things I saw on the ground, but I'm glad that after 8 years of not being able to visit the United States, I'm finally allowed back in, and I don't want to lose this privilege again, so my mouth will stay sealed for the rest of my life.
So we just started our descent into Majuro, the last stop of this island hopping adventure. And I'm getting a little tired, to be honest. It's been quite of an experience, quite of a fun ride, but I'm also looking forward to get some good rest. And I'm going to give you a full summary of today's experience once I'm at the hotel.
We then approached the final stop on our island hopping tour, Majuro, the capital of the Marshall Islands. Interesting fact, over 67 nuclear bombs were detonated in the 40s and 50s by the United States, and until today the US Army is still in charge of the defense, as the country has no army. It's also the 7th smallest country on Earth. I can't wait to see what it's like. welcome to the Marshall Islands. But perhaps now is a great time to hit that subscribe button, because I'll be exploring the Pacifics in the next couple of weeks, bringing new and interesting airlines to you.
Here we are, welcome to the Marshall Islands.
The Marshall Islands is country 132 for me, and the immigration process was rather easy and straightforward. No visa is needed, and my passport was stamped in no time.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, good. Josh.
Josh.
Ben, yeah.
Is this your first time?
My first time here, yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So here we are, welcome to the Marshall Islands. Immigration was very straightforward. They literally just have one immigration officer. And I would say half of the flight actually disembarked here, including the crew as well. But everyone seems very lovely, everyone seems very nice. The airport looks very cute as well. But we're gonna check that out in the next video, because I'll be flying Nauru Airlines to Kiribati. Tarawa is the capital, I think. I learned so much on this trip. I didn't know half of those countries. I knew them, I've heard of them obviously, but I never heard of their capitals. I've never heard of this place. I've never heard of Kiribati capital, so it's all new to me, but it's very, very lovely. We're gonna head to the hotel. I'm gonna show you around the island a little bit, and then that's how we end the video. Guys, a beautiful good morning from the National Stadium here of the Marshall Islands in Majuro. And I thought, before we explore this beautiful island, I'll have you join me on my morning run. So you might believe me that I'm not only eating airplane food all day long, I do exercise as well, at times. All right, let me get my miles in, and then I'm gonna show you a bit more of this beautiful island. So I just did a good solid 5K, and yeah, as I mentioned, this is the National Stadium here, which was just built or opened a few years ago. And the Marshall Islands is one of the last countries in the world that didn't have a football national team. I think they just started last year with their first friendly. I think it was against the Virgin Islands, but yeah, they're now trying to join FIFA. They want to become a fully established FIFA member. But yeah, but look at this, they all came to see me run this morning. I wish. So as you can see from that board, this stadium, this sport complex, was partially funded by Taiwan, because the Marshall Islands is one of the few remaining countries that recognizes Taiwan as an independent country, which most of the nations did until the 70s, and then they switched from Taiwan and they recognized the One China policy, which means the Chinese Communist Party in Beijing is the sole ruler of the Chinese mainland, including Taiwan. But a lot of countries here in the Pacific are still recognizing Taiwan over the Chinese government as the legitimate government of China mainland, including Taiwan. But this is pretty much it. This is the main street of the island. That's Majuro. Majuro is the capital. Roughly 20,000 people live here. And this street is roughly 50 kilometers long. It takes you 2 hours to get from one end to another. And though it is 50 kilometers long, the country is literally just 500 meters wide, you know. So to get from one beach to another, I can cross that country within 3 minutes. That's how small it is, but it's very long, a typical atoll. And yeah, this is what a gas station looks like here in Majuro. But the country, to be honest, is yeah, quite dated in terms of infrastructure. Everything is old, a lot of potholes. It isn't the most modern place, to say it that way. But let me show you my hotel as well. And there aren't many, 3 in total, that were bookable online. It's called Robert Reimer's Hotel. And also the United crew from my flight was staying here. It's roughly $55 a night. Also US dollar is the main currency here. And yeah, here we are. And this is a very basic bed, a desk, there's a fridge, a TV, which I didn't try, a sink, and a toilet, and the fan is quite loud. Yeah, and a shower, of course. So yeah, this is what $75 a night gets you here in the Marshall Islands. So let me have a quick shower, and then let's check out a local supermarket, which is also quite interesting. So that was a very lovely shower. I am at one end of the island. As you can see, water is very clear, and there's some remains of a really big fish. I guess it was a tuna, but as you can see, there it goes. The one main street, it goes all the way down there. This is also where the airport is. And the water here is very lovely and very clear. So some people, yeah, they come here for diving, snorkeling, fishing as well. Very popular for fishing. And now I'm going to show you what a local supermarket looks like here in Majuro. It seems like we found the HQ of Aero Marshall Islands. They have a little airline, but I think it is literally 1 or 2 twin otter planes that do a bit of island hopping. And here we have the US Department of Energy right there. So and here we are inside a local supermarket. Beverages, meat, pizza, vegetables, onions, carrots, massive potatoes. And I remember there was a huge debate about the prices of eggs in the United States back then when Trump won the election. And let me know in the comment section below how much 12 eggs are in your country. But here in the Marshall Islands, you pay $7.60. I just wonder where they're from. But I bet either Australia, I guess Australia, Fiji, or maybe they might be local eggs as well. It says US, California. Could be. So it also seems that a lot of stuff here is from Japan, China, Taiwan, I reckon as well. Soy sauce. So it's pretty much kind of a mix of a department store and a supermarket. So the Australian embassy is located in that building here, and on my way from the airport to the hotel, I noticed a Japanese embassy, but I guess that's probably about it. So I don't think there is a point for most countries to have an embassy here. Really interesting to know which embassy handles the Marshall Islands, for example, the German embassy, or I don't know, the Dutch embassy. I don't think they have an embassy on each island here, or island nation, such as Tuvalu, where we're going soon, or Kiribati, or the Solomon Islands. I guess they probably have it somewhere on one bigger island, maybe like Papua New Guinea, and they handle all the diplomatic stuff and consul stuff from there. I don't know. Enlighten me in the comment section. But yeah, guys, that was it. That was my little Marshall Islands adventure, including the famous United Island Hopper, which was actually a lot of fun. The crew was fantastic. Everyone had great energy. The stops along the way, it was just like a once in a lifetime experience. Another aviation adventure off the list. I can highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun, and it wasn't actually that expensive either. So if you love aviation, if you love islands, then this is the perfect flight for you. My next airline, as part of this Pacific series here, is Nauru Airlines, from here to Kiribati, and then we have 2 nights in Kiribati, and then from there we continue to Christmas Island. Not the Christmas Island where Australia is sending all the illegal migrants. No, there's another one which is part of Kiribati. It's the furthest you can actually travel into the future. So that's another 4-hour flight, a very remote place, but a very famous place because all the testing of nuclear weapons were done there, especially by the United Kingdom, and it's a very, very remote place. Not many people get to visit in their lifetime. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And as again, I will show you the airline, Nauru Airlines, and then we're going to explore Kiribati a little bit too. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of the island hopper. Would you do it? Would you come to the Marshall Islands? And also please check out my Patreon for extra perks, such as joining my WhatsApp group, have early access to my videos. I have a great throwback series going on there as well. So there's literally a post every day. So yeah, go check it out. It's worth it. It's a big family that we've created on there already. So, and I share all behind the scenes there. All right, guys, for me, it's time to grab some lunch, and I will see you next week when we fly Nauru Airlines to Kiribati.